draw is gonna pick it for sure. And that's gonna be what they want to pick up here on the side of NGX.
This is again, this is so scary because this Gragas can go in bot lane or as a support, but also can go in the mid lane and an AP Gragas, and we have seen that in day number 1 of the playoffs. It was a big surprise by KT Rolls-Royce. Y. It is a big impact as well. This time around, Enigma Galaxy has a chance to do exactly that. BRU being very brave, but this is also very scary. You pick up 2 ADCs already in the first picking phase. Yes, you finally secure a tank, but this time around, Enigma Galaxy can already target the Alistar of Watajes in the second banning phase. And the main priority right now, since BRU has showed their cards, is Enigma Galaxy can go with burst champions because they can easily take down the Kai'Sa and the Varus, and if they do, everything collapses for BRU.
Kind of liking this Kai'Sa, very bold of BRU to pick this up for themselves though. Cold Feet, or rather Noel could use this for himself though, or even Valdus. We have seen Valdus use this against Rolls-Royce. It was not successful, but again, it was still a good performance for the side of BRU. But with this, NGX is going full CC again, having the Ashe on their side together with Dross, Gragas. Things would be different here, because at least after the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, they could pull back whoever gets Enchanted Crystal Arrow, and the CC would just pile up because they have their Riven right here.
And this is what's beautiful about the Gragas pick, right? We have seen the Gragas into the mid lane, but we also have seen Hyde pick up this champion in the Baron lane with a tank build, and he was really good on his performance with that too when it was still patch 4.1. And then NGX drafted a really good ADC composition there to protect Demonkite, but this time around I think they have a different plan in mind with an Ashe with so much CC and burst potential. Right now, they are removing some of the champions that can actually work here for Valdus, particularly the Olaf. That was a really big surprise even in game number 1. It took so much for Enigma Galaxy to actually win in game number 1. But right now, it's not going to be a problem anymore. Good respect for BRU removing the Rengar and the Lee Sin that Joshi can actually acquire.
Ooh,
but it's
I
still
was
not
expecting
done,
this.
Cause this one, Xin Zhao available. Man.
Xin Zhao angle, because they already had the double ADCs, and that is where Xin Zhao is most effective against, because these ADCs need to get close. Once the CC piles up, they need to get close against the Xin Zhao, and that's not really what you want to go for. But Aatrox, I was waiting for this, because Aatrox has been free since game 1, and nobody picked up the Aatrox, and this tells a lot on what their composition wants to go for. They have the ADC, Noel is going to be picking up this Kai'Sa for himself, and this, oh no, that's good. That's not good for BRU. They were expecting something else, but because they have the Zed on Aaron, they can't really put that in the mid lane. With the Varus in the mid lane, this is going to be bad for BRU.
This is
that's
so
bad.
scary. Oh
And
my,
Kai'Sa,
oh
no, that's
this
bad.
is nightmare. This is nightmare for Noel. I mean, okay, let's give the benefit of the doubt here for Noel. If he is gonna be able to play it out safe and not be killed by Aaron in a solo kill, which is
good. Yeah.
Very difficult, because there's a Xin Zhao, there's a Riven, there's the Ashe Arrow, and the Gragas. Everyone has CC except for the Zed. But come mid to late game, there's a lot of ways that Enigma Galaxy can actually burst not only Noel and Golden Feet, but even Valdus. And this is a triple scaling lineup as well by BRU. It's like reaching for the stars.
Yeah, we're reaching the point in where we're slowly considering that Aatrox is almost the same as his counterpart in the League of Legends PC, in where he almost always just becomes strong in the mid game, then falls up a lot harder in the late game. That's because most of the time, whenever they pick up first 2 items with the damage in Amber and Twin Guard, you don't really have a lot of damage following through, right? But it is still there. At least they have something for the mid game, which is the Aatrox. They have a bit of damage. They're gonna go for armor penetration in that Varus, so early game is not gonna be a problem. The only problem I'm having is that because their scaling is scattered throughout the board, this might be hard for BRU. On the other hand, NGX has all early game champions on here. They can dominate the early game easily.
And resource-heavy champions are very conflicting when they're on the same team. And we see 3 resource-heavy champions here on the side of BRU. This is going to be very complicated. Who gets the early gold? Will it be focused on Valdez, Noel, or Golden Feet? Because Nigma Galaxy is going to be happy with anyone getting a kill. Oh, that is a lot of damage, your Tipper.
Everybody can say a lot of things about Hyde, but I love whenever Hyde picks up the Riven. That is when he shines the most, because whenever he picks up the Riven, he could really make some plays that has a lot of impact. And so far, during Game 1 and Game 2, he has performed so well. Even if Game 2 wasn't won by them, it was still perfect. But now, with NGX having the same lineup, how is this going to change? Now with Just She being pushed back with a Pulverize right there, they're going to go in. What, they just flashes away. I think he's left alone. He's not going to be able to survive this because Just She would be able to knock him up, and that's a dead Zipper. Okay, I thought that one tick could have killed him.
Still able to blow out the fire, but
no, this is not good. This is a 2v4. Dries low HP, but what a perfect timing with the Darkened Blade. They don't have it just yet. Valdez is low HP. He might fall in. Hyde was able to get the kill on him, but the Justice here. And that's going to be one. Are they going to go for a 2-for-2? Aaron waiting for the Living Shadow to come back. And I think he would be able to run away, but that's perfect. And that is it. Aaron is going to fall in. That's a 2-for-2 in the board.
BRU punishing the overextension there, but I think of a Galaxy. They already caught with the Jess. They should have backed away already, but got a little bit too hungry and tried to go for more, invading the top side or the blue side jungle of Valdez.
Yeah, that could have been good enough. After that 1-0, that could have been perfect. But because they went in for more, they gave them a 2-for-2, a chance to come back for the side of BRU. But again, that's not really that bad, but at least they got some kills on their players. And now Valdez gonna go for the top side. Broken Wings have been used by Hyde a while ago, so he can still run away with the Valor.
Valdez being really formidable on this Aatrox. So far undefeated from the regular season. And there's not yet even his best champion. One of his best champions prior was the Yone.
Yep.
And right now it's looking to have the same influence.
Oh no. I think he might be killed by Zipper alone. Because remember, he has the Demolition Justice now, and that's going to be perfect, though. He used it. Broken Wings is not available. He's not going to be able to run away. He's trying to run, but there's the Darkened Blade from Valdez, and that's another advantage for BRU.
Gold funneling again to Valdez as well. Resource-heavy champions, but they are being fed with kills here through Zipper, getting the kill for Valdez onto Hyde, and so far they are getting a bit of a gold lead, 1,000 gold lead against Nigma Galaxy. Again, this is a scaling champion, scaling composition.
No. Noel is not going to be good, though. That's going to be 3 shurikens on his head. And Noel is just going to die to the Ignite. Killer Instinct. That was a close call, Giyang. That was a close call.
Yeah. Had it been no Ignite for Aaron, he would have lived. And that would be so unfortunate. Because every single time the arrow doesn't connect, or an arrow connects and there's no follow-up, no result, then that's gonna be so good here for BRU. Very similar or reminiscent of game number 2. Nigma Galaxy has to be stepping on the gas pedal all the time, all throughout the game.
Going to the top side though. Tipper gets knocked off though, but Tipper is still alive though. Ignite on his head. He survives, but Aaron has a Living Shadow. Can really go for the flash in, but there you go. Tipper flashes away. They get some plating top side.
Maybe they can even take this tower because Tipper is gonna take a long time going back here into his lane, and since the Kai'Sa doesn't really deal any damage in the early game, he won't be able to get a whole lot of plays. Maybe one, but Aaron is inevitably gonna be able to catch the wave and equalize the gold. A while ago, BRU was ahead by 1k, but with just one play, Nigma Galaxy able to equalize it. That's how good NGX is right now, especially in this current patch, in this playoffs. We have been waiting for this for the longest time, but right now they are resisting the forces of BRU, but it's still not done. BRU still, with a scaling lineup, can outshine NGX when given the chance to do so.
Yeah, Manamune is built by the mid laner. So BRU, we're expecting an EP Kai'Sa here for their side. Enchanted Crystal Arrow onto the bottom lane. What the Jess was able to see it though. Noel is going to be dodging it. That's no more Enchanted Crystal Arrow before the objective comes in.
It's so scary whenever an arrow is about to connect to you. Sometimes you think that you're going to be able to sidestep from it, but Sometimes it does connect, and had it been connected to Noel, that could have been a kill and plus objective pressure. But right now, BRU is starting the RH.
Yeah, they're starting. NGX has vision. Look at that. Have vision on the pit. But what the Jess is here, being the wall, pulverize the street. Perfect chain of corruption onto the backside. Demon Kite might fall here, and that's it. They got the Dragon and they got the Rip Herald. Baldus was able to run away with it, but NGX wants to get more kills. Golden Field might die, but there you go. The barrier's gonna be there. Aaron tries to force it, and Day's gonna die too. That's perfect, but at least they got 2 for 2, and NGX still has the jungler on full HP. BRU could still go for the Dragon contest, but still 2 versus 3 though. What the Jess doesn't have the unbreakable will anymore, but they're gonna be backing away. Enchanted Crystal Arrow is gonna be here, gonna be timing it right. What the Jess gonna be the target. Drop flashes away. What was that?
That was.
I was surprised by that.
That was a prank by Draw. Pranking BRU on that engage. But right now, RH being spawned up, I think is gonna be able to stop here by NGX, but looks like Valdez and Golden Feet doesn't want them to do so.
Yeah.
The charge of Shelly is gonna commence. Tower taken out by BRU, and
Prio
also
now.
priority for the next objective.
Yeah, Prio, no vision. NGX is just gonna give it to hands of BRU, and that's not what you want to happen though. Giving this objective on a composition like this, they have 2 poke champions. Even if we don't really expect a lot of late game damage from the side of BRU, even with the poke champions, it is still gonna be very annoying to deal with those pokes.
This 3-man knockup is just perfect with a follow-up of the Chain of Corruption, already enough to take Demon Kite out. So that's 4v5. Aaron tried to get a backline access to Golden Feet, but he actually lived. So Aaron went back in, but got killed. Fortunately, the Ignite was enough to take him down. But BRU still getting better value because they got the RH, they got the Dragon as well.
Yeah, they might be able to take the tower in the bot lane. And also some plating still. So that's perfect. They have a lot of gold advantages that they got just from that. But NGX is still not really that far away. We're still close on the gold gap, which is honestly nice for the side of NGX. But BRU, once they get another objective in their favor, second objective, NGX should not give that to BRU. Just because of one arrow, everything went in place for the side of BRU.
And they're always going to be looking for that arrow. And we have seen the adjustment that they made during game number 2, right? They were able to adapt, grouping up. This time it can be the same as well.
Yeah.
Hyde gonna be chased out, but it's only to draw him away so that they can take a tower.
Arrow's gonna be there, Unbreakable Will instantly. Noel is gonna be flashing away with a Killer Instinct, but he's not gonna be surviving right there because Aaron is here. We'll be able to get the damage in. Golden Fee is gonna be able to get the Chain of Corruption, but the damage from Josh is gonna be enough. They're gonna go in. He has the damage. One more Audacious Charge could end his life, but Demon Kite flashes in. Barrier's gonna be there. That is scary. Demon Kite falls, and they got it in the end. What, just falls, but Aaron almost got killed by the tower, and he traded a lot just because of that. Tower on the top side is gonna be taken down too. Towers have been taken down.
And at most, it's just gonna be one tower here for Enigma Galaxy. So again, every single fight, BRU is just able to get better results compared to Enigma Galaxy. And the way that Golden Feet was able to kite away, even if Demon Kite flashed in to get the kill. Let's check that one more time, because that was a lot of resources invested just to kill Noel.
What a pulverize, man. What a pulverize.
Oh yeah, what the Jets does so good as a support. Golden Feet being the next target was actually good, but still he was able to kite away, and with him holding the barrier for the longest time was not expected by Enigma Galaxy.
Yeah, and we expected them to win that fight, but now fighting the mid lane though. Pepper pushed back by the Crescent Guard. Now with Valdos on the ultimate with a World Ender, Golden Feet wasn't able to hit a Chain of Corruption, so they're not going to continue that fight. Now with this, what is the next objective here? They are waiting for any chances on the side of NGX, because as we said, with their composition, they have a lot of early game damage, but Noel, Enchanted Crystal Arrow, no follow-throughs, no follow-ups, but what the Jess is not going to be successful because that's a Z on Aaron.
Enigma Galaxy still though losing a bit of grip on this game right now for BRU. And with this composition of BRU United eSports, they can actually easily establish control on this bot side river, because NGX, they're relying on single target pickoffs, and if they do, well, they can actually turn on to objectives, but if they don't, they cannot contest BRU, especially when they're grouped up. The design of this lineup is for team fights from mid game to late game, and right now every single member that is resource hungry has at least 2 items. Even a Zonia's enchantment already picked up here for Valdes. So he's going to be able to sustain for the longest time and allow Noel and Golden Feet to just free hit fully from the fight. Nigma Galaxy has to find ways to take down at least one so that they can neutralize the whole comp of BRU.
Yeah, what's hard about this though is that Valdes could really find easy damages against the members of NGX. Just remember, they don't really have a lot of tanky members on the side of NGX, and Valdes' damage is just gonna be hitting them hard. That's why right now NGX should be really scared. With the objective first onto the side of BRU and having that extra ability haste, this could really change things up for the side of BRU. Now NGX doesn't have a lot of vision on this side of the map, and what they just could really go for another engage. So far, he's my MVP on the side of BRU.
Oh yeah, what the Jazz. Now going to backside.
Yeah, they're gonna go in like that. They have explosive cast though. Flipper is gonna be their target. He might die right there in the process. Aaron's gonna be running away. They got another pulverize right there. Noel would be able to get the killer instinct in. A captain in on the back line though. They don't have a lot of damage. And GX is struggling to get the kill on Valdes. They're gonna try to go in, but there's a stasis again to buy some time.
Pulverize!
But the Jets is gonna be able to get the pulverize again. Noel is here. He's very survivability. And that's NGX tried to get him with low HP, and they got
almost
just because of that. Almost fumbled, but NGX just pushed through to the end.
Almost getting killed. Every single member of Nigma Galaxy had that situation in that fight, but they stayed strong, collected, and grouped up, managing to out-kite the members of BRU.
What?
That was scary. And Aaron got killed early into the fight as well. Let's check that one more time. I think what the Jess being a little bit late actually was an opportunity because they got the kill onto Tipper fast. So at most it's a 4v4 after the Zed got taken out. But look at how Yoshi and the rest were able to kite away. Justice survived from Valdes for the longest time. Stasis as well to draw them back in. And just the outplays. Micro outplays.
That was a lot of stasis. Oh man, that was
it's
crazy.
The tilt action.
Yeah, and I thought they're gonna die. I thought it was the end for NGX, but because they survived, it was a 4v2. But remember, and BRU had a lot of HP, and because Noel just went forward, that was enough time for NGX to just burst them down. And that's what you need to respect. Numbers game is the name of the game.
And NGX had the better numbers in that last fight, so that allowed them to get the tower into the mid lane, get the objective, the dragon as well, a mountain dragon of all things. And look at what's next. Ocean Dragon. Survivability again. If Nigma Galaxy gets this last one, this is going to be insane.
Perfect though. If ever they get this is gonna be the perfect one for them. Having the Mountain Drake, having the Ocean Drake, that's perfect because they needed a lot of sustain. And during that fight, we've seen them sustain a lot. And playing around those, that just really marked the evolution of NGX as a team, especially on these team fights. And that's what I liked about that, because most of the time, if this was the former NGX, they're just gonna die right there and then. But because they knew how to communicate and they had just evolved from their former form, this is what they can show us. Evolution.
This is basically Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken with Ultra Instinct here for Nigma Galaxy. And the way they are just...
That's the Ultra Instinct, man. Right there.
Yeah. It's the new, updated, and better version of Nigma Galaxy that we're seeing. But it's not yet done for BRU. There's still like the very evolved Jiren here that is still very, very strong. It's not yet the end of the world. Even if they're down 3,000, even if Nigma Galaxy has won the previous fight, there's a lot of ways that they can still win because they still have the triple scaling. And if they find the crack onto Nigma Galaxy, if they can draw out one Angelic Arrow, maybe a cask as well, then that's the time that they can strike. And that's where Nigma Galaxy is at their weakest.
Yeah, one of the things that I've seen from that fight too also, though, is that Valdes is having a hard time hitting his Dark Blade. Most of the time when you draft the Aatrox, one of the things that you do expect is a lot of CC. Because it's really hard to hit those Dark Blades. Especially if you don't have the dash, it's really hard to hit the Dark Blades. And that's where Valdes really struggled during that last fight. Now, what can they do? What the Jess, they need to wait for their engage. They've seen the arrow though. They're trying to use the arrow as a scouting tool so that they can push his top side.
And they're going to be able to take this tower because the rest of the members of Nigma Galaxy are actually having a good formation onto the top side. Aaron would be able to fall back. Good job by Hyde as well, drawing attention towards Tipper because, I mean, he wins against the Garen anyways, given the late game scaling, or at least a better late game scaling of the Ribbon in a 1v1 sense against the Garen. And right now, they're basically just prepping for the next objective. With the waves clashing on both side lanes, Nigma Galaxy does have priority for this objective as well. 40 seconds is the way to go. BRU can still collect the wave, push it a little bit far back, and set up vision in the bot side river too.
Yeah, look at the advantage when it comes to gold though. 4k gold, even with this, even if they don't really have a lot of late game scaling, because Kai'Sa went for the full AP right here on their side, it's going way better because at least compared to the AD Kai'Sa, the AP Kai'Sa really scales better in the early to mid game. Maybe really low compared to the late game of an AD Kai'Sa, but it is still good. But again, it's just a breather for NGX. But Hyde might be caught right here. What the Jess is going to go in. Exhaust is going to be there. They have the flash. It's a good thing he wasn't pulverized, but what the Jess? Perfect timing with the pulverize with the ultimate right there. Enchanted Crystal Arrow was able to hit. Just she was able to dodge that chain of corruption. Now they lose a lot of ultimates because of that. And this is going to be a good advantage for the side of NGX, but because they don't have Aaron, they're going to be giving this Ocean Drake.
Oh, opportunity again for BRU. Enigma Galaxy, they have been denied possibly the best neutral objective here for Enigma Galaxy. And now also BRU going to be able to catch up in terms of goal a little bit with the tower takedown into the bot lane. That was just so good, and it started with the perfect gank onto Hyde.
Yeah, Water Jess gonna be hit though. Explosive gas gonna be there. They have that Chi. They have the Crescent Guard pushes back Water Jess, and they're still gonna go in. They have Just Chi on their hands, but they still have a lot of HP. It's not gonna be damaged a lot just because of that Crescent Guard. They have the Stasis, perfect timing. Valdus was able to go in, but not able to get the kill though. Cold in feet right here is left alone, and Demon Guy is doing a lot of damage against him. Valdus is able to survive though, and that's a lot of damage. Much Injustice is at the ready, and that's gonna be the kill. Pfeffer is having the damage right here on the draw, and Demon Kite might be able to die right here in this 1v1. It's gonna be hard. He has the Seraph's Gauge also. He's gonna be flashing away. That's the Enchanted Crystal Arrow. Here comes Hyde. He's gonna be helping him out. Here comes the Blade of the Exile. Has the damage. He's waiting for him to pop the Guardian Angel. And this is gonna be the stun. Key burst to the Wind Slash is gonna be the end of Pfeffer, and that's an ace for the side of NGX.
I actually thought Demon Kite was gonna fall down because of the auto attacks are also hurting him as Tipper was shaking him down. But Nigma Galaxy getting the win. It was very, very fortunate for them to get that better position, especially after the arrow connected onto what it is. He no longer has the unbreakable will. That allowed Nigma Galaxy to burst him faster, and the cask as well allowed Just Chi to get closer to Noel. That's why he got the kill at the very end with Aaron helping him out. Demon Kite as well, being able to free hit for days here in that fight. No one was touching him until Tipper was here.
Yeah. Took a long time for Zipper to really rotate around though, but they're gonna go in for this objective already. Noel's gonna be the target. Have the ultimate coming in. It's not gonna be enough. Noel survives. And NGX needs to get him killed. They want to go for what the Jess. They have the knockback. Zipper is gonna be here. They have all the ultimate. Chain of Corruption is gonna be here. The damage is gonna be there. They don't have the ultimate. The perfect timing. Tipper might die. Valdut's gonna fall down too. Have been taken down by the side of NGX. Tipper is gonna be the X is gonna fall down. What the Jess is left alone. And NGX has an ace on their hands. And this might be it. This is a 30-second death timer, and they can end this game.
This is a long death timer because it's already above 18 minutes. And Nigma Galaxy, after securing a clean ace, of all things, they're going to be able to close out the game. And we have so many thoughts in this game, but Nigma Galaxy only has one thing in mind. Get the teamfight victory, get this game as well, and be match point now in this series.
Decisiveness. NGX, this is what they needed, and as we've seen, it's not